got snow on the ground, a bite in the air, and playoff football making its way to Happy Valley here. Welcome to the Bleacher Report College Football Playoff Pregame presented by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And we are looking out at a sea of white here, both getting ready to come into the stands and on the ground in the parking lot as the Penn State Nittany Lions get set to host the SMU Mustangs. Sitting out here, and some nice lazy boys here. Yes. Mike Golic Jr., Mike Golic Sr. hanging out with you guys today. Paige Kuhn's going to be running around all in the parking lots connecting with fans as we take you guys up till the pregame show before. We're the day before when it comes to the pregame for kickoff out here, Dad.
Is there an appetizer before an appetizer? Well, there is in our house.
Yes,
I mean,
there
we know
is.
that.
There's a lot of
constant food in our house. So, yeah, we are the appetizer before the appetizer.
It is a steady stream of that coming your way today. We will take you guys all the way up to Lefko and the gang on TNT, getting you ready for kickoff here for the second, Dad, of the college football playoff games to be played out here. We'll revisit a little bit of last night, the game that we were at in South Bend, Indiana, as Notre Dame the first to punch their ticket to the rest of the bracket. But, Dad, just taking in this scene, what an opportunity here in the new expanded college football playoff to get a moment in an atmosphere like this at a place as historically important to the sport as Happy Valley, whiteout conditions in a place that now gets to host playoff football.
It just hits differently, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's not the regular season. It's a bowl game. It's usually at a neutral site. But this is the first year of the college playoffs, and Penn State gets to host a game. I mean, there's just a different electricity in the air. And the one thing I will say, while it's cold, it's very sunny out. We had 3 cold games, one last night at Notre Dame, this one in Penn State, and then at Ohio State. But it doesn't seem like the weather, we'll talk about it, is really going to affect the play outside of guys standing on the sideline being awfully cold.
Yes, exactly. If you're one of the guys backing up tonight, get one of those parkas and make sure you're good and taken care of on the sideline. But if you're getting ready to play, a lot on the line in this game where thankfully the precipitation may not be a factor, but these hard hits, we know December, January football in the elements makes this sport certainly a different animal up front here. And for both of these teams, Dad, what a road to this moment here as we look to how these teams earned their way into the dance. You look at the matchups here on paper, Penn State running through the Big Ten this year, really only having an issue with the Ohio State Buckeyes and the eventual Big Ten champion Oregon Ducks in that Big Ten title game, whereas SMU on the other side, first year in the ACC that we can get to in a little bit. But, Dad, let's start and let's look at the Penn State path to this moment here. Going into the season, Drew Aller back at quarterback, and a Nittany Lions team that was expected to try and make this next jump. You saw the offense coordinated this year by Andy Kotelnicki take more chances down the field, make use of their great weapon and Mackey Award winner Tyler Warren in that tight end room. But Drew Aller really starting to take that next step as a downfield passer. Unfortunately, the hang-up was still the hang-up here. Ohio State in the big games that have plagued James Franklin throughout his career became a problem. So they lose to Ohio State, earn their way into the Big Ten championship, Dad, and show well for themselves over the rest of the season to still earn their way into the dance. What's impressed you about this team's path?
Well, it's a blue blood program which hasn't hit that elite level. James Franklin's record has obviously been out there as far as against top 5 teams, against better teams. They couldn't get over the Ohio State hump. They couldn't get into the Big Ten championship game, except for this year, only by a loss, as we see a shirtless
He's walking right down towards us right now. We're going to get him in the background of our shot.
I remember when we were young and tough.
Oh, my God. I do remember that. I remember being a redshirt freshman on the sideline going out here and being forced to take my sleeves off here. No forcing it there. No. That man made a choice to set a tone today.
One thing I did, I never took my shirt off, that's for sure.
No, you didn't have the body to pull it off.
But no, I did not. But Penn State couldn't get into that Big Ten championship game, but they did this year because of something else that happened, right? And Ohio State lost to Michigan that laid the groundwork, and they came up short in the Big Ten championship game. That's kind of been the moniker of this team, is coming up short. They have talent, but can they reach that elite status?
Yeah, they've sort of been in the same spot Notre Dame's been in. Incredibly talented, better than 90% of the sport, but not quite ready yet to break through that upper crust. They've also been the subject of a lot of conversation around the sport in the lead up to bowl season. They get the good announcement that Drew Aller, who is turning into statistically one of the best quarterbacks in Penn State history, history. Needs 106 yards to go over 3,000 career. Would be the ninth quarterback, I believe, in Penn State history to do that. He's third in school history with 50 touchdowns. And so you've got all that out there. He's coming back, but then Bo Prabula, your backup quarterback, announces that he's jumping in the portal and leaving the team due to the factors we know that are difficult about the calendar of the sport.
Yeah, this is the new wave of college football. Now, will they eventually tweak? We can get into that as the portal opened up, last Monday, a couple of Mondays ago, over 2,000 players in the portal. We're getting used to seeing that. But now, in the first year of the playoffs, it's affecting playoff teams like Penn State. Does this have to change their game plan? As Prabula likes to run, is a good running quarterback.
Yep.
And Drew Aller will run as well. Do they make him run less, knowing it's a true freshman backup quarterback? And listen, SMU has the same issue. Their backup, Preston Stone, is going in the portal, but he's staying with the team through the playoffs. So there is a choice. But James Franklin understands Bo's position and understands it's a hard position to be in, to get in the portal and get the choice of the place you want by not staying with the team. And coaches are talking about it. Some coaches want to move the portal when it opens. Other coaches are fine where it is and say just deal with it. It's a situation where the adults are going to have to make a decision.
But you're right. There's the macro of it, which is that larger conversation about the sports offseason and the transfer portal. But then there's the micro that you brought up of how does this affect the way Andy Kotelnicki calls a game, knowing that they now lack depth at that position and also lose a guy that was quality add to their rushing attack that we know with Allen and Singleton. They've certainly got great talented players in that spot, and we've seen Drew Aller himself involved in that. But let's talk about that SMU team on the other side as well, Dad. One of 4 teams in their first year in a new conference to make their way into the college football playoff. And SMU also does it going from the group of 5 to the Power 4. First year in the ACC, they find their way to Charlotte, the ACC title game, and face the perennial ACC champion in Clemson, who plays bid thief and gets their way back into the dance. But for Rhett Lashley and this team, an incredible show of force. First rattle out of the box in a new conference.
Well, it really is, but it took a second half of an ACC championship game to punch their ticket, right? Because it was between them and Alabama, and they were down big at halftime to Clemson. They come back in the second half, and it slips away on a where they have slipped up getting into the game again on special teams, giving up big returns. They gave up a big kickoff return, put Clemson in position for a 56-yarder to win it. But this offense, once Kevin Jennings took over, has flourished. They have 6 receivers with over 20 possessions. They don't or receptions. They don't really have a go-to guy, but they spread the ball out to go along with it with a pretty good running game. I average over 170 yards a game. So and a strong defense, especially against the run.
Yes, and that's going to be the key, I think, that comes up for them today is in the trenches. Defensively, can they go and hold up there and create problems for Drew Aller? But on the other side of the football, offensively, can you handle Abdul Carter and the athletes up front for this Penn State defense? Kevin Jennings, as you mentioned, once he took over after that BYU game as the full-time starter, what he does from a standpoint of evading sacks, using his legs to be a part of the run game is going to be a huge factor in all that.
And using his legs as far as the run game, but throwing, like quarterbacks that are dangerous with their legs still are more dangerous by trying to use their arm out of the pocket when it kind of turns into a free-for-all. And he has such a strong arm when he has to run. And by the way, he's going to have to run.
Yes.
With Abdul Carter coming after him, the pocket is going to have to move, but he has shown pretty well throwing on the move.
He can run and pass. He's the 6th straight SMU quarterback to throw for over 3,000 yards and 20 touchdowns in a season. They've got a lot to look forward to when he kicks off on the field here. We've got a lot to look forward to today on this show. Very special guest in Keegan-Michael Key coming up later on here. But Paige is out here doing the Lord's work in the sea of white in the parking lots. She's going to take the temperature of this fan base. Paige, what's going on?
Thank you guys so much. As I mentioned, it is very cold, but I'm here with my friend Max, who is a junior here at Penn State. And when I said how cold it was, he said the Maryland game was colder. So they're doing just fine out here. But Max, does this environment feel any different because it's a college football game, or is it business as usual?
Not at all. This is a group of 5 school. Boise State in 2011 was a much better program than this. We're going to win double the spread.
The smack talk has already started, you guys. So there is a rumor, you guys, that SMU is tailgating, but indoors. How do you guys feel about that as Penn State fans?
I don't see
them. Where are they at? I've seen about 4 fans all day. So
you get more fans at a Pitt game than SMU.
Wow, so the trash talk has really started. Max, any predictions for this game? I'm guessing I know which way you're leaning.
Similar to Eagles-Cowboys, Dallas is going to get smoked.
All right, well, you guys heard it here from the Penn State fans. Thanks so much. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Paige. And yeah, Dad, reeking of confidence out here. The group of 5 jabs I figured would be coming here, but SMU, you have to give them so much credit. Rhett Lashley, who, listen, brought in 9 transfers that he was with at Miami during his couple of seasons down there that have really filled out huge portions of this roster. Brashard Smith at running back and the great job that he's done here. They have been undaunted by the move up to the Power 4 here, and it's what we've talked about for a long time. The high-end group of 5 teams have always been much closer to the meat of the bell curve in the Power 4 than they've gotten credit for.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at the 3 of the teams, SMU, Boise State, who has been talked about obviously over the years, and Arizona State making their presence felt in the college playoffs as well, making the move, the 4 teams that made a move from conference and are in the playoffs. So it's been pretty impressive as far as that's concerned. You mentioned the 9 transfers from Miami, so you do wonder about the weather. We just saw James Franklin walk by us. He did have a shirt on. He had a nice suit on, not like the players going shirtless. But yeah, you do wonder, while the field looks like it's going to be in great condition, you do wonder how the cold will affect.
Yeah, we haven't quite graduated to coaches popping the tarp off just yet, but we'll wait and see. The early playoff and the expanded playoff is young right now, but it got going last night, Dad. Let's revisit the first game of the expanded college football playoff and the first home playoff game. Is it heaven or is it South Bend? You and I were on hand as Notre Dame took down, I won't say in-state rival, but in-state challenger Indiana in South Bend. The Irish get a decisive win. The final score, not going to tell the whole tale on that. These guys certainly undaunted, pun fully intended, by the weather out here, as we had a lot of shirtless guys warming up in Notre Dame.
Yeah, they talked about the wide receivers going out with no shirts on, and they were saying, well, were we going to do it or we're not going to do it? But more than just the wide receivers went out without shirts on. Man, I remember when we were young and played and were tough and could show the arms. I never took the shirt off. But I'll tell you what, Notre Dame, a turnover by Indiana in the red zone, leads to this 98-yard touchdown run, ties a Notre Dame longest run in history, and that really was a gut punch for Indiana early.
That was what started the show. What ended the show was Riley Leonard's legs for the touchdown that put him up 27-3. Indiana scored a couple late after recovering an onside kick there. But, Dad, the story of this game, you mentioned the swing. Xavier Watts, the consensus All-American safety for Notre Dame, intercepts Curtis Rourke down in the red zone. Jeremiah Love takes it 98 yards to the house. And really from that point, the Notre Dame defense suffocating what had been a really potent Indiana offense all year long.
Well, it really did. And there was that sequence where Notre Dame had the interception. Riley Leonard had a ball tipped and it was picked off, and you thought, okay, here's Indiana's chance. But then Indiana has an interception right on the 2-yard line that led to that run. But then, the score was not indicative of the game. Notre Dame was never in doubt in this game, and we're not saying that just as Notre Dame alum and former players.
No.
They weren't. This was, and even Curt Cignetti was asked why he punted down 3 scores with 10 minutes to go in the game. You know, and he was like, my offense wasn't doing anything. He said at least the defense was was playing strong, so I wanted to kind of keep it in their hands.
Curt Cignetti, who had some fiery words on College Game Day in the lead-up, said, we don't just beat top 25 teams, we kick their you-know-whats.
Yeah.
Didn't quite work out that way on the field. Robert Griffin III pointed out it's a tough day to be a Notre Dame hater. Lane Kiffin never missing an opportunity to troll the College Football Playoff Committee as he needled them down the stretch, Dad, talking about Alabama, the elephant in the room that we know is a part of the conversation with SMU. I'm sure SEC backers all ready to point out, hey, did you really want this Indiana team in, looking at their resume, knowing what they had accomplished?
So what I'll say to that, to answer that quickly, is when we had the 4-team playoffs, everybody do a little history search on those semifinal and some final games. There were blowouts when there were just 4 teams in the playoffs. And Notre Dame was part of them on the wrong end a couple of times, but there were other teams as well. So I don't want to see the finger pointing at blowouts in a 12-team playoff when you had blowouts in a 4-team playoff.
The committee's process is about process over resulting. You can sit here and cherry pick after the fact. They are supposed to make the best decisions with the information they have at that point in time. And sitting here pointing at the results after the fact, to me, completely misses what we're supposed to be doing around here right now. What Notre Dame is doing is going to be heading to the Sugar Bowl to face a Georgia team that's waiting in the wings right now with a backup quarterback and Gunnar Stockton getting ready to take over. As it sounds like all reports, Carson Beck not going to be ready to go for this game, maybe not for the entirety of the playoffs, and so certainly changed the tenor of that. It opened as near a pick-em. Notre Dame was favored for a second at some books here, Dad. This is going to be an interesting matchup because the one thing you can say about Indiana, they challenged Notre Dame in the trenches offensively.
They did.
That top-ranked rush defense for the Hoosiers absolutely made their presence felt in this game. And so now for Notre Dame, what plans are they going to have for an incredibly talented and deep Georgia defensive front?
Well, listen, Notre Dame is like any playoff team that goes deep into a season. If you can run the ball and play great defense, you're in great shape. And that's exactly what Notre Dame can do. And in fact, the Indiana has a better rush defense than Georgia does statistically. The difference to me in this game is going to be Gunnar Stockton, the backup quarterback. Is with Carson Beck, you could rely on Carson Beck's shoulder to put the game on his shoulders if it needed to be. We don't know that with Stockton. We don't know what he's capable of doing should they be put in that situation. And for Notre Dame, falling behind, Notre Dame, since their loss to Northern Illinois, has only had one score game, and that was to Louisville. They have basically blown out everybody else, so they haven't been behind. While the passing game is getting better with Riley Leonard, we don't know what it would be like if they're down 7, down 10, down 13 in the second half. But all signs are pointing like they're heading in a really positive position. They can beat anybody in the country right now.
Some interesting questions for the quarterback coming up in that game here. We had some interesting questions to challenge one of the quarterbacks in this game here. And for more on that, Paige has an interesting battle between SMU fans and their star quarterback, Kevin Jennings.
Yes, guys, we are playing a trivia game with these SMU fans to see how well you actually know your team. So you're going to be competing against SMU's quarterback. He already answered this question, but how many different touchdown scorers can you name for SMU in 30 seconds? Okay, so we're going to put the time on the clock. Are you ready? Ryan is going to help out his friend here. All right, are you guys ready?
Wait, what is it? I don't know.
So you name anyone that scored a touchdown for your team this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, are you ready?
Yeah.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
RJ Maryland.
Amon Moses.
Jordan Hudson.
Matthew Hibner.
Rashard Smith.
Kevin Jennings.
Matt Hibner.
LJ Johnson. Roderick Daniels.
Who else? Preston Stone. Moochie Dixon.
5 seconds, guys.
I said Amon Moses.
Keyshawn Smith.
Okay, you got 9 right. Let's see how you fared. No, we gotta see how well you did.
Okay. Let's see it.
In 30 seconds, how many SMU players can you name that have scored a touchdown this year? 3, 2, 1, go.
Keyshawn Smith, Brashard, me, RJ Maryland, Jake Bailey, Preston Stone, Derek McFall, LJ Johnson, Jordan Hudson, Brandon Crossley, Tank Booker, one blank, Matthew Hibner, might be it.
Okay.
All right, so you didn't beat your quarterback, but you came pretty close, 9 versus 11. How do you feel about that?
I'm pretty upset. I love KJ so much. I mean, he is a sophomore. I just want to make that clear.
Glad you made that clear. But thank you guys very much for playing. Back to you guys.
There we go. You know what, Dad? A pretty incredible showing there, I'd say. I know they got the buddy system there, but listen, Kevin Jennings, that's a great feather in the cap for your starting quarterback. You want him to know exactly who he's been distributing the ball to, but that's a strong showing from the SMU faithful.
I thought they were only 2 behind the quarterback. I thought that was impressive. And everybody, it's like watching a game show. You're like, oh, I could do that when you watch it. But all of a sudden, when the clock's on you, it starts to get a little tough. But that was a great showing by the fans.
I always want to see who can get those clutch time points up there. So shout out to the SMU fans out in the parking lot for getting that done here. We'll have more of that on the Penn State side in a little bit. But speaking of SMU fans, we sent one of our Bleacher Report cameras to the SMU campus to talk to a bunch of students that maybe didn't want to come here in the cold and probably should have been studying instead of talking to us. Take a listen.
Is this the biggest game of SMU football history?
Oh, for sure. You know, there's like 106,000 people in the stadium, wide out at Penn State. Like, come on now.
Yeah, this is the biggest one in our time at the moment.
The Penn State game? Of course. It's the biggest school we've ever faced. We're in the college football playoff, and we've never been there before.
It gotta be. It gotta be.
You're not a real SMU fan unless you blank.
Pony up.
Pony up.
Unless you boulevard. Unless you haven't boulevarded. Unless you boulevard.
Boulevarding.
Unless you've been to the Iron Skillet, the TCU game.
What would happen if SMU had the opportunity to play Alabama?
I think we'd win, actually. We would beat them. Bama, come on now. SMU by 50.
I think we would beat them at least by 14. Alabama's frauds. It'd be an easy win. Like 40-3, maybe? Maybe we'd let them get a field goal.
If SMU were a celebrity, who would they be?
I'd say we'd be Tom Cruise, because Tom Cruise does like a lot of adventurous stuff, and that's what SMU is about.
I would have to say one of the Kardashians, because I know one of the Kardashians came and she went to SMU. Who gets hated on the most? But like, it's pretty good. Cardi. We're like Cardi. Yeah, we're like Cardi.
You know, I'm gonna say we best. We LeBron. LeBron is the GOAT.
What would you do for SMU to win a national championship?
I'd probably lose like part of a finger. Probably my car. National title, come on now.
I'll give up my scholarship.
I'd probably give up a 4.0 GPA.
I'd give up getting an A in calc. My shoes, my J's, my 11s, my 13s, my 4s. I'll give it up. That's replaceable.
My unborn child.
I'll give up my grades and my degree.
What would you give up to see your team win a national championship? Wow. Those are some great answers there from the SMU faithful there. A little bit too bold for my taste on the Alabama slander there.
Yeah.
Take it from someone with personal experience. You don't always want that life, but Dad, what would you do? Notre Dame hasn't won a championship since 1988. You obviously were alive for a bunch of them. I have never seen one in my lifetime, so yes. I have a feeling what I would be willing to give up and what you would be willing to give up, very different things.
Yeah, I mean, it was 3 years after I graduated from Notre Dame. They won the title. And my years were not great years. And listen, I would give up an awful lot. I don't know if I give up the shoes like the one dude was talking about. I'm keeping my New Balances.
Wow. All right. I'm talking about maybe like a kidney, some of the lesser vital organs.
No.
I'm certainly, let me tell you right now, if Notre Dame wins a national title this year, my firstborn son, Jeremiah Watts Golic, I love those two young men like they are my own flesh and blood. And after what they did last night, their names are etched in Notre Dame history forever and certainly etched in my heart forever.
You have way more emotion in watching Notre Dame games because you're closer to being out than I am, and you're just kind of built that way as well.
Yes.
I can watch a game, good or bad, and I can put it away. You can't. You have thrown TV remote controls against the walls in hotels. You get pretty crazy.
Yeah, I have no composure whatsoever here. Thankfully, our friend Paige has a lot more composure. Is Paige back out in the parking lot, ready to do Penn State's version of Q&A against their quarterback, Drew Aller?
Yep, okay,
Are we just recording or is it live?
No, you are live right now. We're putting you on the spot.
To who?
To all of the fans out there, okay?
Are we actually live?
Yes, we are. We are live. Are you prepared? You guys are going to do a little Penn State trivia. We're going to see if you guys can beat Drew Aller in a competition, and it's not at football, don't worry. It is to see how many touchdown scorers for Penn State this season can you name in 30 seconds. Are you guys ready? Yes? All right, we got to go in 3, 2, 1. You're on. You name.
All right, Drew Aller, Bo Perbula, Nick Singleton, Katron Allen, Tyler Warren, Julian Fleming. I got 6. Somebody else?
6. Anyone else? Anyone else want to help him out?
I already said it.
No. Touchdowns. That's a good place to start.
But I don't think he got a touchdown.
No, it's not on there.
Oh, boy.
Nope. All right, we're out of time. You guys got 6. Let's see how Drew Aller did.
In 30 seconds, how many players can you name who scored a touchdown for Penn State this season? I'm going to give you a countdown.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
All right. Me, Bo, Nick, Tyler Warren, Katron, Cam Wallace, Liam Clifford, Julian Fleming, Trey, Amari, Luke Reynolds, that might, Tyseer, that might be it.
All All right, so Drew Aller got 12. You guys got half of that, but thank you guys for participating. We appreciate it, guys.
Oh.
That was, you know what, a lackluster effort compared to their SMU counterparts, but happy to see Drew Aller doing as well as he did there. I have a feeling we've got someone here who would have done a lot better at that here. Keegan-Michael Key, actor, comedian, and Penn State superfan here today, kind enough to join us here. Were you watching that feeling like you could have nailed it a little bit better?
I think I might have been able to do maybe as well as Drew. I think because there were a couple names I was going, oh, right, yeah. Oh, right, yeah.
It's a good problem to have when you have that many guys scoring.
Boy, the fan, the Penn State student or the fan did not do very well. The SMU fans did much better. They got 9, and their quarterback, Kevin Jennings, got 11.
Sometimes I wonder if that has something to do with how much people are studying.
See?
Do you know what I mean? Sometimes people might be very dedicated.
You're turning it,
right?
Okay.
They might be maybe here at Penn State, very dedicated to the studies.
So that's what you're going with.
There we go. That's an incredible spin. You know what? I would expect nothing less from someone as intertwined with this program as you have been here. And we've all seen it. I mean, what's this been like for you? You're someone, we've seen you running out of the tunnel, obviously involved in spring games around here. You've had so much access and influence on this team. To watch their run now, to be here for a home playoff game hosted in Happy Valley, what's that meant to you?
Well, it means so much to me because it makes me happy and proud also because I've been able to watch the development almost mostly of James Franklin. Because when the beginning of his tenure here, I had really high hopes, and I saw us, we kind of soared really a lot in the beginning. We won the Big Ten championship in 2016, had a really good outing there, and then it's been challenging. We've had some challenging years. Sometimes we've had some recruiting issues. There've been downs, there've been ups, there's been peaks, there've been valleys, but I feel like I'm so happy for this 12-team playoff because I feel like it's hopefully today and as we move forward, if we move forward, that we get to showcase what we really have to offer, and especially in these high pressure situations.
How much can moving on in this playoff take away, quite honestly, the years of frustration of getting to that elite level?
I think a lot, Mike. I really do. I think this might help at least begin to remove that stigma, that can't win the big one stigma, because we're dealing with a very good program that I think will become even more consistent if we can move forward here. Look, here's my dream, of course, is that we actually go to the final. But if we can even make a deep run, if we get past SMU and Boise State and can make it to the semis, I think it gives this entire program a boost.
Well, you'll be playing Notre Dame then.
Yeah.
So Notre Dame.
We didn't want to bring up the elephant in the room.
Is it Notre Dame? We'll be playing Notre Dame?
We're in already. We're in the next round already.
We did the easy part here already now.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, you're right, though. And obviously, listen, Penn State's got the distinction of being in a conference that's had some of the best teams in the sport with Ohio State, Michigan, Indiana in the season that they had this year. And so there's been a unique challenge. Part of, I think, the difference this year, the offense, Drew Aller taking that next step with Andy Kotelnicki. It's got to have been impressive to watch what Drew, who was so long talked about when he was the backup here, all this talent, putting that on display now.
And the fact that I think Kotelnicki has put him in a lot of positions to be able to succeed, and he's executed. He's really executed. So I've been thrilled this season to watch him blossom this way. And also, again, sometimes I love that Kotelnicki has this versatility to have that kind of nice bruising running back attack. Yeah. Let's control the clock. Which would be good today to keep Kevin Jennings off the field.
Yes.
And also that's something that's my big matchup today. Funny thing about SMU is they have a surprisingly good run defense.
Yes, they do.
Right? And if we can find a way for our offensive line to be ferocious today, and for Andy to stay ahead of them, and we get Katron moving, we get Nicholas moving, I think we win this game. But I feel like for Drew, the development's been great. I think he is with the right offensive coordinator now. And quite frankly, watching Kotelnicki work is really entertaining, especially when you have the likes of Tyler Warren out there who can be a quarterback and be a center and be a wide receiver and he's out here selling popcorn. It's like crazy.
Yes, it's amazing. With Tyler Warren, you know the ball is going to him and he still catches the ball. You mentioned in the weather today, obviously a great running game and a defense is going to be an advantage. So as we keep showing shots of guys with no shirts on, any thought of you popping a top and going out on the field?
Maybe I'll just tear off the sleeves. I'll just start with the sleeves.
All right, there we
and
go.
I'll ramp it up from there.
That's the gateway. Well, because we said before, obviously you're well known around here as going and doing the look-alike with Coach Franklin, it's been such a great gateway into this. He walked by here, clothes all firmly on. So I feel like as long as you guys are still doing that back and forth, you can go with whatever he's going with outfit-wise.
Thank you, Mike. That's what I got to do. I got to look as much like as him. He needs the doppelganger. It's great. I want to make it possible for him to be in two places at once. You know what I mean? So I'm probably going to keep the clothes, but I might go sleepless.
Have they started to send you out on the road as James Franklin at some of these NIL booster events, trying to recruit for all that now?
Can you imagine if somebody said to me, I want to give more money to the program. You look like you've slimmed down.
Yeah. It's like two cars. It's like you guys can actually be in two places at once and cover
really
more area.
Well, I got to tell you, when I was here for the spring game a few years back, James, this is a testament to his sense of humor. We took a picture. I took a picture with his wife and his daughters, and they used that as their Christmas card.
Yes.
You remember that?
That was
unbelievable. So great. He's just been wonderful. He's been wonderful for not only this team, but also this community.
He just needs to get over the hump.
Just got to get over. And I feel like today is I really have a good feeling today's the beginning of that.
So as far as, again, the cold weather we're in, what's the coldest weather you ever had to shoot a movie in that was uncomfortable?
I had to shoot. I was in the first season of Fargo, the TV show Fargo for FX. In Calgary, Alberta. And I remember just getting off the plane and walking from the terminal to the parking lot. Jordan Peele just looks at me and goes, "Oh, this is no fucking joke." He just looked at me and was like, "What is going on?" And I'm from Michigan, right?
Yes.
Nothing. I mean, Michigan could have been Palm Beach compared to. They missed a day of shooting on Fargo because the trucks, some of the equipment trucks, their wheels froze to the ground. Someone got in the truck drive and it sheared the wheel off the rim. That's the coldest I've ever been.
So these players got nothing.
Come on, 20 degrees. Come on, guys. If they do it in the CFL, we can do it.
If they do it in the CFL, we can do it. Put it on a T-shirt.
You weren't expecting to hear that today, right?
You want dynamic? He's a chameleon. All right, you talked about some of the players that might be able to help Penn State get the job done today. We wanted to see if one player that you were very intimately familiar with might be able to help. For everyone that remembers the great sketch of some of the college football names, we thought, what if we took Hingle McCringleberry, Penn State legend, and not only brought him back into the conversation from one of the greatest sketches I can ever remember, what if we actually made him into a character in the EA Sports College Football 25 video game and simulated his performance against SMU in the college football playoffs? So we ran the game, and let me just say, McCringleberry went off.
Oh my God, look at that.
Now.
Just in these tiny little twist route. I love the little twist route there.
He's got the gritty going on after
and he's doing a gritty. Yeah, look at this. Like kind of a look at this. I love that slant. And then he goes all the way across the field, past the hashes.
He's got it. Oh, the Heisman.
Oh, the Heisman post from Hingle McCringleberry. Oh my God! Run deep, right to the boundary. Oh no, he's gonna skip it. He goes in. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He scores.
Did you see him throw the hand up? He threw the hand up like I'm open.
I'm open.
Yeah.
Look, a lot of speed he's a very big wide receiver.
Yes.
You know, because you know that they changed him. He lost a little bit of weight, went from tight end to wide receiver.
There you go.
And the speed to boot.
So there we go.
3 touchdowns.
58-31 victory. A 3-touchdown performance. How proud are you to see Hingle McCringleberry? 254 yards.
I couldn't be more happy. I'm also, can I tell you this? This is why I'm really proud. Went back to school. Went back to school to get that degree. Left the Rhinos. Went back to school.
He made a promise to his mom.
He made a promise to his mom. He was going to get that degree. Goes back to his alma mater. Gets the degree.
So there were tears at graduation.
For everybody involved. For everybody involved.
Oh, what a beautiful celebration.
Excessive celebration penalties, none. So you
exactly. So he kept it. So
you don't cost
he's more mature. He's more mature.
Right.
He understands. You got to. What he has to do to make sure they get over the top. I mean, 58-31. Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't
that be nice today?
Like that high-scoring game today.
It could. Listen. It could be a shootout today. It could be. I feel like I would say this. I think our corners are markedly better than their corners. Their run defense is good. Their linebackers are quick. That's the thing about Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren's a big boy. And their linebackers, quick guys, they're fast, they're dynamic. They're not big.
Yep.
They're not tall. And so I think that could make some of the difference.
Well, I mean, you have to figure out a way to cover Tyler. If it's double him, if it's bracketing him. Because, at 88 receptions, the 4 main wide receivers for Penn State have 89 combined.
I know.
So, I mean, it is where SMU, it's 6 receivers at 20 or more, all averaging like 14 to 16.
Kevin's spreading it all
spread
over
out
the place.
everywhere.
Everywhere,
I mean, it's Drew looking for Tyler.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got one person on this set predicting that maybe this could be a shootout. We just heard from another person that's probably hoping for the opposite here. We're going to get a take on the game from former Penn State great linebacker and current Cowboys superstar Micah Parsons on what he's looking at in the game. Take a listen.
Listen, it's your boy Micah Parsons here. This is why my Nittany Lions is going to win. First of all, as a former member of the Nittany Lions in Stick City, and you see it in the back, we got number 11 Abdul Carter. He's going to be the game record. No offense, but I don't think no one in the ACC is close to the equivalent of Abdul's speed, power, and consistency at the top of the rush. He's going to dominate this game. I don't see them being anyone in our D-line. Obviously, we had 2 close losses to Oregon and Ohio State, but that's not going to be a factor. Those are games and challenges that we've been able to overcome, and now we've gotten so much better. And obviously, as y'all seen in the Big Ten Championship, Drew Allar, he's been able to step up in a big way. He's so exciting. He's electrifying, and he's good. But the biggest thing is, I'm going to say it's our defense. Our defense is going to find a way to win games. And then obviously, Penn State, Nittany Nation, it's the wide out. It's the wide out. SMU has not seen an environment like this. Their cadence, their timing, everything will be off. That environment is going to be loud. It's going to be soaring. It's going to be something to witness.
Let me tell you what. He certainly knows a thing or two about this incredible environment here he just described.
I can't agree with him more. I think it's a perfect assessment. I hadn't even spoken about Abdul Carter. I haven't spoken about Kobe King. I haven't spoken about Dennis Sutton. I haven't spoken about St. Durant. I mean, that he's right. Nowhere in the ACC have they seen a line like this. That's this big, this powerful, and that dynamic of an edge rusher. Also, Kevin Fleming, I think I'm going to get it wrong, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think it's 3.24 seconds he holds the ball.
Wow. Yeah.
Never.
No.
Never. You can't do that today.
No.
You cannot do that today.
Not with Abdul Carter.
Not with Abdul Carter out there.
The first Penn State player with 10 sacks in a season, going all the way back to when Carl Nassib was here in 2015. He's 7th in school history with 21 career sacks. And just a menace. He looks a lot like Micah Parsons in a lot of these reps.
He really does. He really does. Yeah. And I think that Kevin's going to be seeing some sticks today.
Well, he is, and he does throw the ball well on the run, so that's a feather in his cap because he is going to be on the run. But I like how Penn State stunts their lines, and you look at the last few years, obviously Micah Chop Robinson in the league now, and Abdul Carter going to be.
You guys got no shortage of long, strong athletes on defense.
No, we don't.
Here,
no, we don't. Yeah, that's one thing that James has done really well in recruiting. I say, like the big, if you, like you said, these other receivers have 89 combined.
Right.
If somebody, if Fleming or Evans, if somebody shows up today, and I'm not saying you have to have a career there. I'm saying 5 catches to take any tension away from Tyler Warren, then they're really in trouble.
Then you start to open up options when you've got to defend much more than that focal point.
100%.
It can get pretty dangerous here. All right, Keegan, if you do us a favor, we want to have you pick a bracket for us here. Take a look at the rest of the sport here. We're going to pop this up. We're going to have you go through. I have a feeling we know who you're going to pick in this game here. But let's start up with this one.
Close up.
Take it in right here. We've got this one. So let's take a look at the bracket out here. Obviously, you're going to have
You don't have to pick Notre Dame because they already won.
They've already won.
Did we tell you that?
So, I think you had mentioned that. I think you had actually mentioned that.
I just tried to be thorough,
All right, so Penn State, SMU, we're going to say, Jen, do you have a score prediction for the game here today for Penn State, SMU?
I think the score is going to be I think it's going to be 34-27 Penn State.
Wow. All right.
I think it's going to be a little close. I see, I was going to say 34-17.
Okay.
But I don't know. I just changed it right at the last second.
There we go.
There you go.
I appreciate the SMU respect in that. All right, let's talk about Clemson, Texas. 5 seed that everyone talked about being so valuable in the sport. Longhorns, tough year against the Bulldogs, good against everyone else. Who do you like?
I have Texas in that game. I think that Ewers comes up strong. I don't care. Listen, I don't care if it's Ewers or Manning in the court under center.
Yeah.
It's their defense. I think it's Texas's defense, and I think they get that done, especially after Clemson win a field goal. I mean, if they win against this team, Texas is much superior competition.
And Clemson got a long kickoff return to put him in position for that field goal.
Right.
For the win. All right, Tennessee at Ohio State. Again, another supposed weather game where it doesn't seem like the weather is going to affect an SEC coming to town.
This one, the weather is not going to affect the SEC. It gets cold in Tennessee.
Yeah, sure.
It gets cold in Tennessee. Also, I'm trying to make my brain work over my heart. I am a Michigander who went to Penn State.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's almost like I can't pick Ohio State.
Yeah.
But I actually think this game, is actually going to come down to defense too. This might be 21-17.
Yes.
This could be 21-17. Tennessee.
Tennessee's got a defense.
This is my upset alert right
All right.
They've got a defense.
Yeah, they do.
This is my pick. Yeah.
All right, that Vols SEC defense bears its teeth, and all of a sudden Ryan Day going to have a lot of questions to answer from the locals in Columbus.
Oh, yeah. He's can I just say, my prediction is, and we've been hearing it from every pundit, right? But I believe it. If he doesn't win this game, then he's done. I just think he's done.
And it's amazing because his record is incredible.
Incredible record, yeah.
Not against.
You can't lose to Michigan four times.
Can't lose that team up north.
You can't lose that team up north, yeah.
It is a job with a very simple description.
Yeah.
Do not lose to the block out.
Look at this bracket, then. Look. Yeah. How is Texas not going to beat Arizona? Texas has got a good, favorable
So you're taking Texas over Arizona State, the 4 seed coming off the bye.
I am, but I don't. Here's my Final Four is looking like Texas, Oregon, Penn State, Notre Dame.
Wow. You're going to take Notre Dame over Georgia.
Yeah, I think that you guys are going to beat Georgia. I don't know why. I don't have the analysis for it. Listen, they're going to watch tape, but I don't think they're ready for what Marcus has for them. I really don't. The way that you guys dominated that game yesterday, I think that you can do it again against Georgia. And I don't think Georgia has their quarterback.
Yeah, they do not. Carson Beck.
So that's a whole other thing.
You know, what's your thought? You saw Arizona State get a bye, Boise State get a bye when they weren't ranked in the top 4. Do you think they need to tweak the final standings a bit?
Here's what I think. I think they need to tweak the bracket. And then I think what they'll learn for next year, I think we have to take strength of schedule into consideration more next year. Basically, based on what we saw yesterday with the Notre Dame win.
Right.
I think they'll adjust brackets. I think they should. I really do think they should. I think we'll learn. This is the first time out.
Sure.
We'll learn a lot. We'll learn a lot from what this championship run looks like.
Trial and error, getting us to the Final Four, where we have existed in college football leading up to this for the last decade. You got Penn State and Notre Dame on one side, Texas and Oregon on the other. Who makes their way to the national championship in Atlanta?
Okay, here's the deal.
All right.
Here's what's going to happen. Okay.
We're sitting right here, yeah.
Okay.
Choose your next words carefully, Spartan.
Okay.
And we're both bigger than you.
This is State College! I think Oregon has a convincing win against Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they're going to win by more than a touchdown. I think the game of the year would be Penn State versus Notre Dame.
Wow.
And I think that we can get it done. I think we can get it done. I think it's going to be a 1-point win or if it goes either way, it's going to be a field goal. Literally by a field goal.
Wow.
But my pick would be an Oregon Penn State matchup for the national championship.
Wow.
All
Big
right.
Ten matchup?
A Big Ten matchup for the national championship.
With Oregon, how weird does that sound?
With Oregon,
Yes.
yeah. The big classic Big Ten matchup.
You throw out the record books when Oregon and Penn State put together.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God.
That
All right.
storied rivalry.
Yeah, but you know what? This would do a lot for big game James Franklin to get his team to this point here.
It would be amazing if this gets the monkey off our back no matter what happens. In the national, here's the thing. There's not enough people here yet. I think Oregon's unstoppable.
Yeah.
I think I think Dylan. I think Gabriel, he's playing out of his mind.
And no one really talks about him.
They've been a silent number one team.
Silent number one
Haven't
team
they?
the entire nation, the entire season. And also, their defense doesn't get enough credit. I remember back in the Chip Kelly days, they always had fast defenses, right?
Yes.
A really fast defense and not always really big guys. They're bigger now. They're faster now. They're just incredible. I mean, it breaks my heart into a million pieces if this is the scenario to pick them over us. But we scored. Look, we played valiantly in the Big Ten championship.
Sure,
but this, I think they've got answers, and I don't know if we have the answers to their questions.
I'm impressed you're going with your head and not your heart.
I'm trying. It's hard. It's the hardest thing for me to do.
But like you said, if Penn State gets to the title game, that is a monster.
It would be a monster thing. I feel like with our road, we could do it. The biggest, that's the signature win. The semifinal win, to me, would be a national championship for us.
All right, there we go. Keegan-Michael Key is going with Oregon over Penn State in the CFP this year. A rematch of the Big Ten title game and an incredible run for his Nittany Lions. We can't thank you enough for giving us some time.
Oh, my God, you guys, it's my pleasure to be here, guys. I love a Golic. I love a Golic. I got Golic squared over here.
And
Mike's Golic?
And if we get to Notre Dame, Penn State, we'll put a little something on.
We'll put a little something on. We'll butter that bread.
We'll find a way. Well, everyone, check it out and stick with the TNT coverage. You're going to see him over there as well on the desk with the guys. Keegan, really appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike.
We're going to throw it back out to Paige in the parking lot, taking the temperature as we get closer and closer to game time here in Happy Valley. Paige?
Yes, as we get closer to game time, we are going to have John and we'll let them get that out. John and Jeff are going to give their predictions and try to convince you guys that their team should win. Obviously, very spirited out here. We're going to start with the away team. Now, SMU is going to go first. You got 30 seconds to make your case to the Golics of why your team's going to win.
It's pretty simple. We have the best coach in the nation. Rhett Lashley is going to have these boys ready to go. Then we got the best running back in the nation, which is Rashard Smith. He is a game changer. And then Kevin Jennings. Period. End of story. We're winning today. Pony up!
All right, that is the SMU case. Now for the Penn State case. All right, you got 30 seconds.
Sure. So first and foremost, it's State College in December. It's 25 degrees outside. They're not ready for that. It's a whiteout. We've got Tyler Warren, dog. And on defense, the Big Ten bully, Abdul Carter. Let's go. They're not ready for that. Let's go.
All right, guys. As you see, it's crazy out here. Did they convince you? Back to you guys.
Paige, stay safe out there, Paige. And pick up some food on your way back in. It smelled very good out there.
Well, let me tell you what, a morning tailgate.
You've been going on about the bacon smells all day.
The wafting of bacon in the parking lot has been fantastic. After this is over, I'm going out there and tailgate.
That's the thing. He figured out very early on the credential allows for him to go out and back in. So if you are a Penn State or SMU fan tailgating in the parking lot and you see my father wander towards him, call my mom's number is attached to the collar around his neck. Let her know that she's going to get him home safe, but then feed him while you've got him.
I like my bacon a little crispy.
Yes, extra crispy. Always he likes there. Some compelling arguments from the Penn State and SMU faithful out there, Dad. This game in particular, we'll do our brackets here in a second and put them up next to Keegan-Michael Key, who did a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
what a great ambassador for the program that they have in him. Did he convince you, Dad, anything different than you already thought about this Penn State-SMU matchup today?
No, I mean, I as we'll get to our picks, I do like Penn State for the, again, you talk running game and defense, over 200 yards rushing, and they play strong defense as well. You have a game wrecker in Abdul Carter. I mean, any team that has one of those, not only, and let's just say his stats are silent today. If they are, it would be because of the extra men that SMU put on him, which should open it up for somebody else as well. So it's not just about Abdul Carter getting the stats. If they chip him, if they double him, that's going to give somebody else an opportunity.
Yeah, that's always the difficult part with a lot of the great rushers that we're going to see this college football playoff postseason. Abdul Carter here, Jalen Walker at Georgia, is not just when they're lined up on the edge and you know it's one-on-one. It's when you have to account for them all over the line of scrimmage and what they can do to open things up for their teammates.
And I love when they stunt Carter to the inside. It's like a TE. A tackle goes first to the outside, the end comes underneath, because then he's in space. He's in space on a guard normally, where he can either go with the power or put a move on. He is just, again, Micah Parsons.
Yes, Dad, I got to call a game here. It was a whiteout game, Penn State against Minnesota. Ethan Kaliak-Manis got the start for them in a game where he was completely overwhelmed. But Abdul Carter was a young player on that team. And you look and immediately saw him pop, especially when he's going towards the quarterback. And the 11's always going to conjure up images of some of the great rushers of old. Having Micah Parsons as a recent added to that list and seeing the job that he's done is always going to make that a little bit easier to sell. But you just turn it on, and he's a guy that, as a former offensive lineman, looks so difficult to even get hands on here. And so you have to have constant awareness. I think if you're SMU and you're trying to build out a game plan to go and make this work, you've got to do as SMU what you did in the second half against Clemson. It took them way too long, in my opinion, to get to using Kevin Jennings as a value add on the edge of defenses in the run game, getting to some of your double move stuff downfield. You've got to make them think east and west to take a great pass rusher like that and all the speed they've got on that defense and make them think. Throw chips at them, throw screens at them, do whatever you can to make these guys have to stop and consider for a second on their path to the quarterback.
And obviously quick timing routes by Jennings and the receivers. As I've mentioned a couple of times, 6 receivers with 20 or more receptions and averaging 14 to 16 yards a catch. So it's either on the slants where you're getting the yak, or it's on deeper routes, deeper ins or go routes. So they have a multitude of players to get the ball to. And it depends on if the pressure's getting to him quickly, defense will probably play up knowing the short passes are coming to try and take that away as well.
Certainly there. So it becomes really interesting. I mean, we talk so much about Tyler Warren, too, with Keegan here. You forget R.J. Maryland, who was the leading receiver on this SMU team, looked like every bit the future NFL star that people believe him to be. That injury 6 games into the season, you do wonder, for a season that's already been incredible, what could have been if you had him in the offensive arsenal, and what a tight end matchup this would be, the Mackey Award winner against a guy who's got a bright future in and of itself, but they can only work with who got him here. So, Dad, let's begin the process of filling out our bracket now. Here as we look forward towards the rest of the playoff, starting with, we know Notre Dame already punched their ticket, as we've reminded everyone over and over again.
Yes, we have.
We're obnoxious. Starting with the game today here, you and I both going Penn State here. I said during the week, this was the one I had circled as potential upset here because I think SMU more talented defensively than they get credit for. We talked about the Miami transfers here. You've got plenty of Power 4 bodies that made their way over here during the transition that have helped this season. But I think ultimately, Penn State in the non-Ohio State games, and obviously Oregon, who's the #1 team in the country, but as far as the other teams, I think that mental block doesn't exist here.
Well, no.
They play free and they get the ball downfield a lot.
It's been a mental block against Ohio State and top 5 teams. SMU is not a top 5 team, so it's out of that box.
Yes.
I do think this is closer than last night's Notre Dame-Indiana game.
I agree.
I definitely think it's closer. I think it's a one-score game, be it a field goal, be it a touchdown. But I definitely like Penn State in this game over SMU.
All right, let's talk about Ohio State and Tennessee, because that's the one, as we've looked ahead, so many people have wondered, could that be the upset? We know it's the 8-9 seed, but remember, because the 4 byes went to the 4 highest-ranked conference champions, the seeding's a little wonky this year, and so this game, a different caliber. Ohio State came into the year, Dad, $20 million roster.
Right.
Ryan Day with all the expectation. Chip Kelly, they take as the head coach of UCLA and stick him in as their offensive coordinator with Will Howard, who gets a king's ransom to come over here and replace Kyle McCord, who, oh, by the way, won 9 games with the Orange this year in Fran Brown. So do you think that this team is on upset alert as they host Tennessee today?
Oh, I think they are. And I think the key to this game is a Josh Heupel offense loves to be a high-scoring offense, but the passing game just hasn't clicked like I thought it would. It's become a running team and Tennessee and a great defense. So if Ohio State, now listen, they laid a complete egg against Michigan.
Yes.
A complete egg against Michigan. Michigan has a tough defense as well. So can they do what I'm about to say? Get up in the game and force Tennessee to have to throw the ball.
Yes.
Take away the running attack, force them to throw the ball. I think Ohio State can do that. I do like Ohio State. I think this could be close, but I also think this could get away from Tennessee. If they get behind and have to start throwing the ball to catch up, that could lead to turnovers and it could lead to a blowout.
I agree. This Ohio State offensive line's been reshuffled a bunch because of injury down the stretch, but they've had time to prepare with that group now. And I think that time, combined with the fact that they've played pretty well considering the injuries they've befallen, they're going to be ready for the Tennessee defensive front. I don't know if Nico Iamaleava is someone I can trust in a big moment. We saw this became the Dylan Sampson show for most of the back half of the season, a run game and a potent defense. I like Ohio State in this game to go on.
This is my bracket, so let me pick.
All right,
All right,
well,
it's my
fine.
bracket.
We're just talking out loud.
I'll pick Ohio State, and then to finish off this first round, Clemson and Texas. Listen, I didn't think Clemson was going to be near the playoffs. I didn't think they would be in the ACC title game, and it worked out they did. Cade Klubnik has done an incredible job of lifting this team offensively. You know they're a good defensive team, but what he did throwing the ball really was amazing to me. That said, as I talked about, as a former defensive player, you got a strong defense, you got a shot. Texas has a mighty, mighty defense. So this is another one I see possibly getting away from Clemson. I see Texas. And now Quinn Ewers, listen, all of a sudden there's talk of him coming back. He got a mid-second round grade. Is he going to come back to Texas? If he does, is he going to have a place at Texas? Is Steve Sarkisian is going to have a choice between the two of those? We'll worry about that for another day after this playoff run. But I like Texas over
I
Clemson.
think the story of this game ends up being the Texas defense here.
Yep.
Cade Klubnik against the top 5 defenses, according to SP Plus, that Clemson's faced. 59% completion percentage, 5.2 yards per dropback, 12 sacks over the course of the season. Texas, number 2 in SP Plus, by far the best defense that Clemson's faced. So I like them as well. Dad, this brings us to now the teams that are waiting in the wings on this weekend, the teams on the bye. Which of the teams, Georgia, Boise State, Oregon, or Arizona State, do you think is on the highest upset alert as we get to the second round?
Well, I mean, I think Arizona State is. And listen, what Kevin Dillingham has done at Arizona State,
Kenny
Dillingham, I'm sorry, has been absolutely amazing. But again, this Texas defense, Cam Scatterbo, the running back for Arizona State, is such a fun guy to watch, and he runs so hard. He's like an ice bag runner. You play against him, you're going to need an ice bag after it. So that's a 5-4, though. But again, Arizona State at 4 and Boise State at 3 seems odd. They'll both be underdogs.
Yes.
So they'll be 3 and a 4 and an underdog. So it would be one of those teams upsetting. I don't really. By seed, I would say Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame will beat Georgia. Notre Dame's got a great running game and a great defense, and Georgia doesn't have their starting quarterback.
All right.
And Georgia has been great at times and average at times, and I think Notre Dame wins that game.
Yeah, I think that's one that's certainly become a sexier pick as we've gone along here. But I agree with you. Arizona State and Boise State. And for me, Arizona State, I would put on higher upset alert. Texas with all that talent. And we know the injury at the end of the season to Jordan Tyson, great wide receiver for Arizona State, that made them a little more one-dimensional. That worked fine when it was Iowa State that couldn't protect against the run in the Big 12 championship. Texas, a different animal there. Dad, who's your pick for the rest of the Final Four?
Well, I like Penn State over Boise State, so I'm right with Keegan-Michael Key on that. I have the Penn State-Notre Dame matchup. I like Penn State over Boise State. Obviously, Ashton Genty is going to have to go off in that game, but I like Penn State's defense. I think Oregon has been so not talked about as the best team in the country, but what a rematch with Ohio State, 32-31 in the regular season. People complaining now the regular season game doesn't mean anything because they may meet again in the playoffs. Well, yeah, if it was 32-31 in the regular season, thinking we could get another great game. But I like Oregon to move on, and I like Texas to move on over Arizona State. So we have, it's basically, again, the same Final Four as Keegan-Michael Key. So where we will differ, I like Notre Dame over Penn State.
Sure.
Notre Dame is just playing as well as any team in the country right now. They are solid in every aspect. Again, the only caveat may be if they're down in a game and have to throw themselves back into it. We haven't seen that yet.
And some of the injuries that we've seen pop up for them. Riley Mills goes down in the game last night, one of their star defensive tackles here.
But they did get Howard Cross back, who had missed the previous 3 games. And I like Oregon. I mean, again, the silent killers, the non-talked about team. I like them for the title game. And then Oregon and Notre Dame, much like Keegan said, with my heart, you know where I want to go, but my head's kind of leaning toward Oregon in this one, and it kind of I'm close on it, but I'm leaning Oregon.
You can understand it. We got a chance to talk to Dan Lanning on Gojo and Golic that we do during the week, and the juggernaut that he has built there systematically at Oregon. He's taken the model that he learned under Kirby Smart at Georgia, and he's replicated it in the Pacific Northwest, where they've got the NIL and recruiting up and running as one of the best in the country. We see the hype videos and the motivation there. He's a coach that, like Kirby Smart, has that charisma in front of his team. But Dylan Gabriel, we talked about it with Keegan-Michael Key. probably for a guy that finished third in the Heisman Trophy voting, feels like one of the most under-talked about, underrated quarterbacks in college football this year. Succeeds Bo Nix, who's doing a great job with the Broncos and meant a lot to that program, and has gone out and made plays time after time for that team during the ups and downs of a long Big Ten season. So that is your pick, Dad, for the national championship bracket. Surprise, surprise from my side here. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree in a lot of these picks. I wound up at the same place that you did in the Final Four here. A very chalky field, which we're used to in the college football playoff. And you know this, I have a difficult time buying in and believing. I have been hurt by Notre Dame as a child. I've hurt Notre Dame fans as a player. I was a part of the pain. Irish fans, I'm sorry for 2012. I wish we could have done better for you here.
You were in the title game. There's something to be said for that.
There is something to be said for that. And this Notre Dame team, I said, going into the playoff field, had the best chance we've had since 2012 of getting back to that stage here. You and I were in South Bend the other night. The entire college football world descended on South Bend, Indiana, and the atmosphere was unrivaled. The fans and what they brought to that. Marcus Freeman having this team prepare to go out here and systematically destroy Indiana and remind them who that state still belongs to. Got me feeling some type of belief. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Rip the Band-Aid off. I'm ready to be heard. Notre Dame's winning the whole thing this year. The first time since 1988 here. I think Notre Dame against Indiana got up and realized the only way this IU team was going to get back in the game was if we let them and made a mistake here. And so they put their foot off the gas on the offense. They went to a more conservative game plan. I think we see a totally different approach, a much more wide open attack against Georgia, and I think they can walk their way all the way to a title.
You got me juiced up. I'm going to
Let's
change
go.
my pick. I'm changing my pick to Notre Dame beating Oregon in the national championship game. I'm changing it.
God help us all here. Paige, save us from ourselves. We're drunk on homerism in here. We need someone to come here and put the governor on this thing.
Guys, we are going to raise you bias and bring you the Penn State bias. My friend Brady here is going to tell us on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that Penn State can go all the way?
Oh, 10. This is easy money. Easiest national championship I've ever seen. Easy.
So in the name of bias, guys, it's everywhere. It's contagious. Happy college football playoff. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Paige. Phenomenal job out there amongst the people in the parking lots, weathering the smells, the sights, and the sounds. And that's before we get to the food, by the way, here. So the Penn State fans confident heading into today, Dad, and just coming back home to what a unique opportunity this is that needs to remain a part of however many teams we expand the playoff to, wherever this goes in terms of volume. The first round games, at the very least, need to remain on these college campuses, because after a one-game sample size last night, I have a feeling the folks here at State College are going to have a phenomenal showing today. This needs to be the reward for college football fans everywhere who watch their teams accomplish and get to this point.
Listen, college football is one of the great sports that we have because of the fans and the way the fans are electric at these playoff games. It even ups a notch. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited to see what James Franklin can do, if he can get past that level and get to the final game. But it all starts today against SMU.
This is what's at stake tonight here in Happy Valley here. This has been the Bleacher Report College Football Playoff Pregame presented by AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Stick around here for the great show on TNT. Adam Lefko, Champ Bailey, Takeo Spikes, Victor Cruz. Guys, have a great day. Take it away. Thank you for watching with us here on Bleacher Report.
Twist route there.
Ready.